Senator Romney's optimism about the chances of not defaulting this year. Having been very involved in the 2011 debate, I am much more worried that this time we will go over that cliff. Ms. Hopper, great to see you. Thank you for your work in Maryland. I'm going to start by questioning Mr. Zandi. I think many of us are grateful, Mr. Zandi, for sharing over many years your expertise on fiscal issues. If I could just ask you regarding inflation today. We know we still have work to do in the economy, but inflation has now fallen 40% compared to the peak of last year. It's at a 2-year low. Chairman Powell, Chairman of the Federal Reserve, was recently asked about what he thought the pressures on inflation were at the current time, and he indicated that in his view, it's not fiscal policy that's driving inflation now. Do you agree?
Agreed. I think the inflation we're suffering through right now is the continued fallout from the impact of the pandemic on supply chains, labor markets, and the Russian war in Ukraine and its impact on energy, food, and other commodity markets. And what's happened is those two shocks conflated and infected inflation expectations and wage and other dynamics in the labor market. So lots of reasons for the high inflation. At the very tippity top is the fact that we're still working through the fallout from those two massive shocks to the supply side of the economy. At this point, I don't think fiscal policy has played any role at all. Just one quick other point. If you had asked me that question back in 2021, I would have said fiscal policy, yes, is playing a role. But at that point, hard to remember back, that was deemed to be good inflation. We had been through a decade of suboptimal inflation. We wanted to see higher inflation. It wasn't an issue.
Let me, I've just, my time's running short.
Sorry.
I have a couple more questions.
Yeah.
So I did see your assessment that if you actually passed the House Republican plan, we would lose 790,000 jobs in the economy. Have you had a chance to look at the Biden budget proposal and determine whether it would cause anything in that range of job loss?
No, I mean, they both have deficit reduction long run. Of course, the House legislation on the spending side, the president mostly on the tax side. But in the next, when the economy's, in the next year and a half, when the economy's incredibly vulnerable, the president's budget does not have the same kind of negative consequence.
Good afternoon, friends. New information has just been released. Low-income households are now facing new struggles after a boost to monthly benefits have expired. But there are several lawmakers that have just reached a deal on new relief checks and tax breaks. Many seniors and veterans will be able to claim this extra money. My friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, I will be announcing the winners from yesterday's Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter these weekly giveaways, all you have to do, friends, is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, friends, of winning the giveaways. Now that additional crisis-era cash assistance for food has ended, along with the health emergency, nearly 42 million Americans are feeling the impact, especially with inflation still very high. Those using SNAP are buying 12% fewer groceries than 1 year ago, and the share of people who said their benefits now last 2 weeks rose to 58% in April from 41% in September. According to experts, SNAP shoppers are buying less and looking for value by trading down to private label brands to stretch their SNAP money for more groceries. However, those budgeting measures have expanded to all categories, including infant and home and garden departments. With a minimum of $95 per recipient lost each month and an estimated 41 million SNAP recipients, brands and retailers will face a $46 billion gap in consumer spending in the year to come. At the onset of the crisis in 2020, Congress passed the Families First Crisis Response Act to temporarily boost SNAP benefits to help low-income families weather the crisis that pushed millions of people out of their jobs. All SNAP households received an additional $95 in benefits or an additional benefit valued up to the maximum benefit for their household size, whichever was greater. The last extra SNAP benefits expired at the end of February, meaning that March was the first month that Americans had to live without the additional cash. Increasingly, Walmart is becoming the store of choice for offering low grocery prices, with the superstore capturing nearly 26% of SNAP dollars each year. Other lower-priced retailers seeing an uptick in business from the end of extra SNAP benefits include Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and 7-Eleven. Recipients of the extra SNAP benefits are now expressing more concern about their financial outlook for 2023 compared with just 2 months ago. Since the emergency SNAP allotment have come to an end, 42% of SNAP recipients say they're worried about their job security, and 62% are concerned about their financial stability, but both are lower than before the emergency program had expired. In February, those numbers were 45% and 63%. So, dear friends, what do you think that our government should do to SNAP benefits? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Iowa seniors have until July 1st, 2023 to apply for a new property tax exemption included as part of a sweeping property tax cut that was signed into law in May. And military veterans who already qualify for an existing tax credit will receive a new exemption without applying. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds signed the new property tax law on May 4th. This is one day after the legislation was approved by Iowa lawmakers. In addition to the new tax exemptions for seniors and veterans, the law will limit local governments' revenue growth in future years and require them to use a portion of revenue growth above 3% to reduce their property tax levies. Legislative Republicans estimate that the law will provide about $100 million in property tax relief statewide. Residents of Iowa, age 65 or older, are eligible for a property tax exemption worth $3,250 for this year. In the following years, the exemption doubles to $6,500. Exemptions are reductions in the taxable value of the property, not a direct reduction of how much property taxes a homeowner pays. Residents can find the application online under the name Homestead Tax Credit and Exemption 54-028. But it's important to note that the forms must be returned to the county assessor's office by July 1st of this year, in which the credit or exemption is claimed. Forms turned in after that date will count as a claim for the following year. This week, a panel of lawmakers in the state of Minnesota have also agreed to a deal on taxes that include direct rebate checks to Minnesota residents. The rebates are $260 for single filers, $520 for married couples, and an additional $260 per dependent, up to 3 dependents. A family of 5 could see up to $1,300 back in their pockets. Democrats leading the legislature have sought to target their tax relief to lower and middle income residents of Minnesota. This agreement would send the one-time money back to individuals earning up to $7,500,000 or $150,000 for couples who file joint returns. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Saturday. I will be announcing winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway every Friday. If you'd like to enter these giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, my friends, of winning the giveaways.